The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, this coming Monday, if you live in the great state of Massachusetts, you'll know that movie theaters are opening back up, which is going to be awesome. So we're going to be able to hit the Cineplexes again. Social distancing, of course, but at least they'll be open. And happy 40th anniversary to the greatest parody of all time, Airplane. And I'm doing all this because Raven Shadow is still not in his seat, if you can believe that. Can you believe it? Sure you can. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 414 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein. Also, in the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. We also... There's two videos of me. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
It just completely fucked me up right there. We also... And everyone's fucking video is all screwed up. All right, hold on. Let me reset this and do it again.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we're also coming from the, I said Lair of Lost Swag, Casa de Zero, and the Lair of the Gods. It is Trick or Treat Radio. We discuss at least one film a week. We argue, we make fun of each other, and apparently our cameras get all fucking discombobulated on a weekly basis, it seems now. So, all right. So... I'm getting the cameras all fixed up, but MZ, you talked about the movie theaters opening. You're gonna go to the movies.
I might.
I'm not movie shaming.
I might.
You,
I got plenty of free time. Huh?
I'm not movie shaming you, but you know, you're actually thinking about going.
Well, if anything good is coming out, I might. Otherwise, I don't. You know. I'm still, I'll wait for Bill and Ted to come out. That'll be out in about 5 weeks.
Yeah, Bill and Ted get coronavirus. That's pretty good. Sucks. The Bill and Ted.
And I don't know what other movies are coming out. I mean, there's plenty of movies that's coming out in the drive-in, but. As far as the theater goes, I haven't heard really much of anything. All I know is that Stage 3 is going to open up this coming Monday. And part of that is theaters. They're also opening up museums and gyms, and I think I can't remember what else they said they were going to open up, but movie theaters is what caught my ear, so... I'm just glad to see that some things are reopening.
Is that a good idea, though? With we're getting the
I'm sure they're going to social.
You trust in people to social distance. Is that what you're saying?
You know they'll have certain chairs, certain seats, blocked off so you can't sit in them, and you'll have to wear a mask and things like that. I'm sure of it. They want to take this. With a bit of caution, I'm sure.
And do you think you feel comfortable with other people adhering to those rules?
Well, they're going to have to.
What if they don't? Are they going to get shot?
Off.
What if people don't? What's going to happen?
You throw them down the aisle. So get the hell out of my...
Yeah, right. Aries, it looks like I lost your cam, so you may want to reset it if you turn it off and turn it back on if you can.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Also, it depends on what movies are coming out. I don't go to the movies all that much, really, because, Hollywood sucks.
I know, but I mean, the point I'm getting at though is like, sure, you may wear your mask, you may socially distance, but do you trust other people too? I can't even walk Aussie around here without people like trying to walk through me. You know, you think people are going to actually like adhere to that?
Well, if that's the case, then you wouldn't be taking Ozzy out at all.
I take them out every day.
Yeah,
I'm the
but
one
you
that
just coming up to you.
yeah, I'm the one that has to move. If I didn't move, other people would not. That's what I'm saying. Like I have to sometimes go off the sidewalk and go into the road or whatever.
But Johnny, you're built like fucking Tom Welling in season 9. Like, who's gonna walk through you?
Well,
There's
apparently, well, sometimes they do, but other times they just like expect like that they're just I'm going to move over to the side and they're going to go right by me like a foot away from me, and so I ain't having that. You know, I'm trying to do my part. You know.
Yeah, and like I mean, just because things are opening, it's not opening because it's safe. It's opening for economic reasons.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. Hey, we have a cure now. Let's all start fucking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Well, I mean, I want that. I want that.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you know, hey, I know where your priorities are.
Well, like today, Governor Baker said, "Hey, start fucking. We have cures for everything now. It's
Start
cool."
fucking.
All
Yeah.
right.
This whole thing has made the industry just a little bit more interesting.
But it's not fun though. It doesn't calm me down. Like there's a joint down the street from my house that I love going to, and they have like outdoor dining, but the view is Route 9 on asphalt. That's not fun to go out for dining, and I don't want to go out to see Contagion 2,
Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo, when people cough and choke, back in the 90s. I don't want to have that fun experience now when I might get fucking, the plague of the new millennium just to go see, whatever the fuck, Bridesmaids 8. You know what I'm saying?
That's out?
I hope so.
Contagion 2, still Tagion.
Yeah.
Still Tagion. Don't tage me, bro.
Stage me, bro.
I mean, but like for the most part, Hollywood sucks, and what ends up in the theaters bites anyway. So, I mean, that's more than enough to keep me out of the Cineplexes to begin with.
What if they re-released, I don't know, Basket Case?
I would gladly visit any theater that would be brave enough to show that.
Even if there's no social distancing?
That's a tough one. But no movie risking my life over.
So why go? Why even go? That's what I'm getting at. I know you said nothing's interesting you, but like if you go to the movies, you run the risk of some fucking idiot being like putting you at risk,
Sure. Yeah. But they are gonna block off chairs, so
I know.
Maybe
what if you're gonna take a leak and some dude comes right up and uses the fucking stall next to you and coughs on you?
It's gonna happen.
God damn.
I'm the only one in the men's room taking a leak in a stall, and there's a guy got his choice of like 50 stalls to go with, and he chooses the one right next to me.
Yep.
I'd clock him. I'd fucking clock.
You'd cold cock him in the bathroom?
Yes. Take the freezer and cold.
Oh man. Yeah. All right. The thing is like and I don't even know, like, are they making people wear masks at the movie theater?
They are now. I mean, AMC came out. They were like, "Hey, it's fucking cool. You don't have to." And then the backlash.
But how do you eat popcorn and drink soda with the mask on?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the rule is, I mean, you'd have to take it down to like eat and stuff, face and stuff. But once again, is it? I mean, I big ups to Professor J. Try to support the theaters when you can. Once again, gift certificates, concessions, do what you can, but I'm not. I get stressed enough trying to be there, get my seat, and see all the trailers. I don't need more anxiety when I go see a movie theater.
Because you don't.
You strap on a
Yeah.
feed bag. It's two birds, one stone there.
Yeah, well, I could just go down my basement or my living room. Not that I have the biggest TV in the world, but I'd rather watch at home. I can pause it, go to the bathroom, have a smoke.
Balls.
I don't know. It's not fun. It's not fun yet. We can't do a movie premiere. We can't all sit together. That's not fun.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. If they release another Adam Sandler film, there'll only be 2 people in the theater anyway. So
Yeah, the thing I wonder, like, what if I want to sit next to T-Dog? Can you sit next to like someone you went with?
I would think so.
But how do they police that?
I'm told you. Like I told you. This is the 3rd time I'm telling you. They're blocking off chairs. They're blocking off seats in bunches of 1 or 2. And they're going to have them, sporadic throughout the theater. And there's going to be social distancing as far as that is concerned. So, it's only going to be like if you were to fill up every seat that's going to be filled up with the social distancing law involved.
Well, it's not a law, because if it was a law, then it would be enforced.
Correct me. That it would only be like maybe 25 or 30% fill.
Yeah.
So,
Not excited about it.
It's minimal. There is, look, with everything you do this, you enter some form of risk. Yeah.
What kind of risk are you in right now? Sitting in your chair.
A much higher risk than you realize.
Well,
I think I'm.
Actually, you are at risk.
Yeah.
Especially if you get too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'll tell my parents about that.
Oh, you did? What did you tell them?
I told them like Monster Zero got in trouble.
Did they?
Yeah. Raven Shadow and I spoke a few days ago, face to face.
Wow.
It was nice. I had to go.
Yeah.
I saw Monster Zero. We social distance. I went to his what is it? The Monster Zone, the Zero Dome.
Zero Dome.
Zero Dome. It was nice. I called him up.
Stuff. He was all messed up. I wasn't.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You were eating a pudding pop, and it was nice. It was weird. I wanted to give you a hug and a kiss, but I held back. But it was nice. But we chatted. For a while, I was like, I thought it was gonna have to be like fucking what's his face in the movie? Fucking with the radio say anything to call Monster Zero to come out. But yeah, he answered on the first ring, and that was nice. We had a little exchange. And I kind of wanted to go to Art Bradish's, but we didn't.
You did?
Which I have not been to since the first week it opened.
Do you want to go?
Wow.
Do a social distancing?
I'm trying to loosen this weight.
Okay, so the pudding pop. What part of that? Yeah. But it was very good to see you, Monster Zero. It made me smile.
Yes, right back at you. It's very good to see you too, buddy. Been a long time.
I know.
Did you guys cuddle?
No, we can't.
Social distancing, man.
And there are cameras all over Monster Zero's property, so I figured, get fucking viral. You can't have that.
So Marion's hanging out in the chat room. She said, I'd risk COVID for Wonder Woman 84. But you won't have to risk it anytime soon, because I think it got moved to October now, right? I think I saw.
Yes.
So it's still a ways away. I think they're going to move it again, to be fair, because I just don't think it'll be I don't think movie theaters will be ready for blockbusters in October. So.
Although, could it be a weird, turn back the clock? where movies are actually in theaters for more than 2 weeks?
Well, that would be.
You know what I mean? Like, remember when when
Superhero
Jaws opened?
movies are there for like 3 months, 2.5, 3 months probably. The really successful ones.
But I mean, films used to be there. It dropped in June. You could still see it in August.
Yeah, because I mean, there was a lot less films.
Right. But that was nice. That was fun.
That was fun.
You know, you didn't have to fucking see it that weekend. There wasn't fucking movie anxiety. You could be like,
No, you're the only one with movie anxiety.
I am not the only one with movie anxiety. Aries has it too.
I do not.
Do not speak for him.
I'm gonna speak near him. Well, not near him, but
You wish you could speak near him.
I do wish I could speak with him.
All right. Well,
Well,
let me-
Now, what would give you the impression that I have an anxiety about movies?
Well, you have lots of problems too. Let's be fair.
Yeah, but no anxiety about movies.
I don't know. You don't like crowds. You don't like crowds either, Aries.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with the movies.
Okay.
yeah, Raven Shadow. Jeez.
Who goes to movies? Crowds.
Now with the movies that are coming out in the theaters, Jesus Christ. People actually pay to see that crap.
All right. Well, let me tell people what we're up to on this episode. So we're going to be talking about the Netflix exclusive film, The Platform. So we'll be talking about that in just a little while. And then, I don't know, if anyone wants to leave any voice messages, podcast at Trick or Treat Radio, you can go ahead, leave a voice message or an email, and you can tell us your thoughts on the film for this week. You can give us your thoughts about any films we've done in the past, whether it's the last several weeks, several months, several years, and or just any questions. If you guys want to ask us questions, you have anything that's vexing you, you want to just get it off your chest, feel free to send us a message, podcast at trickortreatradio.com. We prefer voice because we love hearing your voices. So, there's still time, too, if you're listening live, to get your messages in. So go ahead and send them. We just got one just as I was saying that, actually. So looking forward to hearing that one a little bit later on. And let me see, what else? Hey, you know what? Let's do some fucking intros, guys. What do you think?
Wow.
It's been a while, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am Johnny Wolfenstein. This is not my self-appointed nickname. It was given to me. The Vegan Vanguard, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio, and also I host a Star Wars podcast called Force Insensitive, and we do that once a week. We're going through the Clone Wars animated series. We're into season 5 now, and we got a couple seasons left after that. And looking forward to The Mandalorian Season 2 coming up, Raven Shadow. I know you're looking forward to that, too, and I know Aries is looking forward to it.
Word.
And also, one of my co-hosts on Force Insensitive, my boy Rocky, he and I have been streaming games on Friday night on our Twitch channel, playing Star Wars games. So if you guys want to come check it out, twitch.tv/trickortreatradio. Even if you can't watch on Friday nights, feel free to go ahead and follow us there. And, that way if we do anything else on Twitch, you'll get notified. You'll be aware of it if we do. So go ahead and follow us on Twitch. We'll probably do some stuff here and there. But for now, we're streaming games on Friday nights. And last week when we were streaming Raven Shadow, we actually recruited somebody to our little gaming group. And that was our old friend Murph. You remember Murph, right?
Was it Murph?
Yeah.
Oh man, I saw we were communicating. That's nice.
Yeah, so Murph is playing the game with us, and he's going to come hang out with us and probably stream with us on Friday. So,
Well, how can I do that? Because I watched one of those streaming. That was cute.
yeah, you don't want to download the app.
I was concerned. I didn't know what. I just texted Johnny. Oh, Rocky, I miss it.
So that's what's going on for me. We also have the Vulgar Guru of Horror, star of Blood Pigs, the newly re-released Fetus, and the upcoming Morbid Tales and Septic, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster Zero.
And I'm not on Twitch.
You could be. No, you just Twitch. You just Twitch,
Spasms and shit.
Twitch to the death nerve.
There you go.
Is
There
that
you
your
go, little face.
favorite? Is that your favorite movie?
Twitch. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram, and I am on Twitter. And that's pretty much it.
There you go. So you could follow MZ there. And MZ, so you mentioned recently that Fetus was re-released on Blu-ray, and folks can get it from eBay from Morbid Vision Films. What's up?
No, not Blu-ray. You said Blu-ray, not Blu-ray.
Oh, I thought I said eBay, but maybe I said Blu-ray.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's available on eBay, available through morbidvisionfilms.com. And anywhere where finer DVDs are sold.
So there you go. And I know just a couple hours ago, actually, our boy Carlitos posted that he got his copy of Fetus, and he's looking forward to watching it.
Yes, he did. That, and oh man, I can't wait to see and hear what he thinks. Should be fun.
And
that movie was fun.
What's that?
I said that movie was fun to shoot.
All right, we also have
I miss
the whiskey pickling, triumph riding, stage erecting, whiskey drinking, chief of security, warrior of nor'easters, America's sweetheart, Rick Rubin's stunt double, he drinks and breaks things, Ares, god of war.
What was the whiskey pickling? When did you throw that in there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, pay more attention when you do the intros. Huh?
It's been a while since we've done one.
I can't really argue with it. I don't like pickling being in my intro.
We also have the glorified grip, the chain smoking, hand kissing, baby shaking. He's fucking loving this because he's counting it down. Lorazepam loving, former comic book reading nerd, the official smoke chamber for the Lair of Law Swag, the Pimper Promotions, the Italian Rapscallion, the professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the sexy speakeasy, Mr. Runtime, the Duke of Degeneracy, Banana Fingers himself, and the Parisian Bruja, Michael Ravenshadow.
Oh man, this is very exciting. I think next time we do intros, there should be like a social. That's when you like drink, like take your beverages, whatever you're into, whether you're smoking or drinking, just to do like a chug for that and see what happens.
Don't do that.
You should do that.
You have to chug for as long as your intro?
Yeah.
You couldn't do that because then you couldn't count off as he's saying all your names.
That is true.
Yeah.
You like?
I'll have Ollie do it.
Do you count down, or you just like put a finger out there? What do you count them?
No, I count on my head.
How many are there?
Yeah, how many?
I do mind math.
So how many cigarettes is that then? Because I know that's like your time.
Barometer.
Yeah, it's like your parsec.
No. I mean, if I was smoking in here like a grown up, I would still have a butt during the intro. Pretty much a butt is I can do 10 minutes is 2 butts.
2 butts. What are you doing to those butts?
Okay. Let me have a conversation too. That's my 10-minute break in the at 10 o'clock and at 3 o'clock. Well, one's in the morning, one's at I guess it'd be the afternoon. But no, you could have in 10 minutes. You could have a nice relaxing smoke. Aries remembers.
2 cigarettes in 10 minutes is not relaxing.
No, that's
it.
Talking about fucking anxiety about movies. I'm having anxiety just thinking about that.
No, it's very calm. No,
calming.
Yeah,
sucking down 2 cigarettes in 10 minutes is calming.
But you're talking, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, did you watch the fucking Anarchy last night? Yeah, it was good. Jax did that." Or like, "Oh Snoop, did you see the new Black Panther trailer? I'm looking forward to that."
What? There's no new Black Panther trailer.
No, that's what conversations I've had in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no new trailers for anything. I'm just saying that's an example of a conversation you can have.
That's a shitty conversation.
Why? You don't talking about fucking movies and stuff? Like, "Oh Snoop,"
Meanwhile, how do you get any words in? You're like sucking down 2 butts in 10 minutes?
No. I mean, it's not like a. I'll be right back. Like that kind of stuff. But no, you're having that. You're being like a grown up, and you're talking with your hands.
Being like a grown up.
10 minutes is 2 butts. That's reasonable.
No, it's not. Aries, you're as a former smoker, is that reasonable?
No, it is not.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you, and you're an inspiration for me and everything you do.
Look at all that money.
Then
Look,
quit smoking.
Oh. Raven Chair, all that money he saved. Look, he bought a tape recorder behind him. You got some action figures. Look what you could do.
I know. I mean, to be fair, Aries, and I really want you to be proud of me because that's another level of acceptance I need in my life.
Show. See what happens. See what you can buy when you don't smoke. Let me show you something.
Oh God.
You'll recognize this.
The fucking Screen Factory.
It's a G1. There you go. Yep.
I don't know who that is.
Who is that?
That's G1 6-shot from your store, buddy.
Oh, look at you, 6-shot Calhoun.
Yeah.
Did you buy that recently?
Bash.
I'm glad you have 6-shot. 49-year-old. I have a Grimlock that I got when I was 12. But yeah, it was my birthday. No, I'm very happy for you. I'm glad you're alive. But no, I hear you.
Oh,
Listen,
well, hey, a further example of not smoking, let me show you this. You'll freak the fuck out.
well, fucking pudding pops.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, why are we gotta get crotch when he does that?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
I thought we had the tour of his room. Didn't we already see all the crap?
I'm petrified.
This fucking shit.
What's he doing here? What is he doing?
What are you playing laser tag?
Yeah, what's
Shadow, right? Shadow.
You got a photon?
Hell.
Oh, look at
what is that? So, come on, tell the people. Not everyone's watching the video.
It's
That's
Monster.
Jetfire.
What is it? Jetfire?
Jetfire.
Okay. What does that mean to people who don't know?
This is one of the original G1 Transformers that came out in 1984. 85. I think it's 85, I meant to say. 84.
Is that from 84, that one? It's not like a reissue or anything?
Nope,
No,
this is the real deal.
Nice. Looks nice.
I mean, that's cool, Monster Zero, and he has all his parts, but I have my Jetfire downstairs from when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I play with it, but I have that too. And you think, I mean, I smoke butts, but I still got fucking toys.
Imagine how many more you could have.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be a fucking cat.
All right. You know how you whine about your car? You could afford a car you actually like.
That is true.
Well, I can afford a car I like, but I just want that car to die.
You don't want that car. If you could afford a new car, you trade that in and get the car you want.
I can afford a new car. The reason that's a Patreon episode. I just wanted the fucking noise to stop a couple years back, but it's almost done. I got one more year on it, and I got a plan, and I'm gonna get something better. But listen, to be fair, 2020, not gonna quit a lot of vices. Just saying, isn't the year for it.
I paid off my Jeep is paid off. Free and clear. I own it.
That's good. I'm proud of you. That's good.
Evil Corny says, don't let MZ get too excited. His girlfriend's going to check him on that noise.
Yeah.
And he also said Jetfire is the first non-car Autobot.
Yes.
Is that you, MZ?
Well, no. Probably the mini-cons, right? With like Sea Spray or...
He's season 2. Power Glide is season 2. Cosmos is season 2. Warpath was season 2. He's pretty accurate about that, actually. Yeah, he's accurate about it.
I wouldn't.
Are you talking about?
Don't question Corny.
Oh, fucking A, Corny. Cops and crooks. Fine, you win, dog.
Question.
Our boy, our pal Anthony says Jetfire was the best Christmas gift of '85 by a mile.
Beautiful thing about one is, and I don't know if yours has one, Raven Shadow. He's even got his gun clip right there.
Look at that.
Oh, well,
Those are hard to find.
but that's not your original one, though, right?
This is original, yes.
No, but that's not your original one.
No. This isn't. No. I bought this.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, fucking, let's go to commercial. Hang on.
Holy Christ!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Didn't we have a toy Patreon?
Yes.
Shouldn't we have written
Yes.
this all out?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Trying to
What is he
string
doing?
away from the
I have access to control
Or-
like the computer at the studio. I wish I could control his fucking door so I could lock him out.
And MZ, you're the one to blame for this because you brought up the toys, and you're frantically looking around for something else right now.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
No. I'm just trying to get the show back on its.
On track by picking up another toy.
No. Where is it?
What do you have? Oh, what's going on here?
So I have my Jetfire
Yeah.
that I had when I was a child. That I might not have all the bells and whistles, but I played with it, and it's still in pretty good condition because I had it back in 1984 or 85, and I kept my things because I was a fucking good boy. And I put my crayon, and I didn't fucking, you know what I mean? So I didn't have to buy my childhood. I guess like my mom bought my childhood, but the first time around. So I got mine too.
Your mom does everything else.
And she's coming over there tonight.
You're
You know what? We all didn't have 2 bedrooms to store all our shit in when we weren't playing with it.
Well, she should have been an only child.
I tried. The motherfucker kept on getting back up.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, if you were the first one, you probably would have been an only child.
All right, what do you got there, MZ? I see you have a couple movies in your hand.
Yeah, well, my order from Vinegar Syndrome came in.
Ooh,
So
finally, huh?
there's a couple of my more rounded out horror titles I picked up: Slaughterhouse and Splatter University.
Splatter? You say Splatterhouse University?
No, Slaughterhouse
Yep.
and Splatter University.
Oh, okay.
Slaughterhouse is okay. Not the greatest thing in the world, but far from the worst.
Is it based on the video game?
No.
Is there any connection?
It came out in 1987.
It's older.
All right.
And Splatter University came out in 1983.
I'm actually confusing them. The name of the game is Splatterhouse because you have a Splatter University and a Slaughterhouse, so I confused them.
Okay.
But Splatterhouse came out in 1988.
That was the mask to wear, right?
Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Then-
a Jason kind of ripoff.
Yeah, he's got the Jason mask and everything.
Actually, wasn't it more akin to the one not Gordon Ramsay. Not
Gordon
Stone.
Ramsay.
Guy
What was the
Fury? What are we talking about?
The movie about the guy Leslie Vernon behind the mask.
Oh, Behind the Mask.
He
Yeah.
looked more like Leslie Vernon.
Oh, and our pal Anthony says, he talked about Jetfire, and he said that and the USS Flag. He had the fucking flag.
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, Raven Shadow. I had the flag too.
Oh, see? Oh, I know.
Imagine if
Where's
the flag transformed. That would be a fucking crazy transformer, huh?
It would be 12 feet tall.
I know it would be human size to scale.
Yeah, I had the flag too. I don't know where the fuck it went, man.
You know what? All the crossovers that they're doing nowadays, the Transformers is doing nowadays, it wouldn't surprise me if that comes up at some point. Because they did the Ghostbusters, they're doing Back to the Future now, and they've been doing G.I. Joe Transformer crossovers for the longest time, but now when it's time to make something tangible and make some of those G.I. Joe vehicles into Transformer vehicles, it'll happen. At some point, it's just going to have to.
They had that series. It was called Mask.
Yeah.
But they actually, even when they were doing those reissues, some of the Joes that were really, really cool, very much cartoon detail. There was actually a Matt Tracker figure that was branded under the G.I. Joe banner. So they had the classic Matt Tracker in his racing jumpsuit as part of the Joe team. And I wish I picked that figure up. I think a childhood friend of, more than childhood, but a mutual friend that Aries and I have picked it up for her son. But they would do that. They would have weird like cross promotions with G.I. Joe, not only with Sergeant Slaughter, but there was the mail away for Refrigerator Perry, which is fucking weird. And there was DC had Who's Who, which is like a book where you could, character bios. Marvel had the Marvel Universe updates, but there was G.I. Joe called Order of Battle. And they would have the dossiers of all the characters. And they actually were going to bring in Rocky Balboa to be a member of the G.I. Joe team. And there's actually, I do have that comic where Bo was brought in to train the G.I. Joe recruits. And it was probably the 87 toy line when there was a Cobra figure called Big Boa, who was a boxer. And he was the Viper trainer. But when that issue was published, before it got produced, they we call it retracted. They took it away. So, but for a brief moment, Rocky Balboa was part of the G.I. Joe team. And Anthony, seriously, Google it. Big net.
Yeah, that's actually, Anthony just said the Rocky G.I. Joe nearly came out, but the rights dropped and turned him into
Big Boa.
Boa. Is that, yeah.
It was Big Boa. Yeah. That's right. So they swept from being the Joe trainer to the Cobra trainer, and he had boxing. Weird fucking.
That's fucking funny. I think I vaguely remember that.
I don't remember that.
It's starting to ring a bell, but I wouldn't have been able to recall that. But now that you mention it, it sounds familiar. Anthony also says Boulder Mountain, underrated toy line.
Wait, Boulder Mountain? Do you mean the mask base?
Let me look it up. I don't know if that's what he means.
Anthony, just come over, dude. You're so right. Come on. I'm pretty sure I can't catch stuff because there's so much inside me I got to kill. So if you want to hang here, bro, man, that's fine.
Oh shit. From Mask, yeah, he says, yep.
Yeah, that was the gas station playset with the weird. It came with two figures, and it had the one dude that had like a Walkman and a weird beret, and the weird other figure, I think it was Alex somebody. He had a big red beard. He looked almost like a weird fucking geography teacher. But yeah, it was there.
Weird geography.
Yeah, it was very odd. They were a weird couple. But I would pretend that one figure that came with it was I would reenact scenes from Iron Eagle because he had the headphones, and I would have adventures. That was lonely.
You love Iron Eagle.
I fucking love Iron Eagle, dude. Fucking Doug. What's his name? Doug. I had fucking Lamar in it from Nerds.
Doug.
Tim. Yeah, I fucking love Iron Eagle. So disappointed by Iron Eagle 2, dude. That fucking broke my heart, dog.
Let's see. Louis Gossett Jr., Jason Gedrick.
Yeah, Jason Gedrick. Yeah, he's my boy.
Larry B. Scott was in it, MZ. Did you know that?
What?
That Larry B. Scott was in Iron Eagle?
Was he really? Damn.
Yeah.
No idea.
So good.
Robbie Wrist? Why do I know that name? Sounds familiar.
Robbie Wrist. Cousin Oliver.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Yeah. Elma, you're right. You're right, you fucking psychopath. He was in that.
Wait. I tell me that Cousin Oliver was in Iron Eagle?
He was part of the Eagle.
Yeah.
That was Doug's team. Fucking Jason Gedrick. Like
that's fun.
If you couldn't get fucking who's Lost Boys? Who was
Jason Patrick?
If you couldn't get Jason Patrick,
you got Jason Gedrick.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't get Kiefer Sutherland, Robbie Wrist.
Yeah.
So
how whack?
So is he the poor man's Jason Patrick? Or
Yeah, I mean, I
bargain,
really thought-
bargain basement dollar store?
Yeah, he's like, no. I mean, he's more like the Mott version of or the Walmart version of Jason Patrick. But once again, I do love. He could have done great things.
Who could have done great things?
Jason
Fucking-
Patrick. But it pissed me off though. I remember that before the internet, and spoiler alert, the movie came out in fucking 80 whatever the fuck. But as much
80
of
whatever the fuck. 1986.
part 2 or part 1?
Part 1.
All right, so part 2 was 88, I bet, right?
I don't know. I'm looking at part 1.
All right, well, let's produce part 2.
You have the capability of looking this shit up yourself.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know.
No. No, I don't. I need fucking tech support. I need like, you know what I was thinking about the other day? Like fucking, especially with the chat room talk we had. Not to digress, but like I'm picturing like Buffalo Bill doing tech support. Is that weird?
Oh wait.
Like, oh,
Did you
wait.
turn it off and turn it on again?
Are your AV ports connected?
Oh wait, you gotta submit a ticket for that.
So,
Oh,
Iron
You
Eagle,
have an HDMI cord.
Iron Eagle 2 is 88 Raven Shadow.
See, yeah.
And
So
I think I've told this story before, but Iron Eagle comes up so infrequently that I'll tell it again. Someone that we know that you're friends with, Raven Shadow, that you see from time to time. His father used to come into the video store I worked at all the time. This is back in the day, and he like special ordered Iron Eagle 4, and like kept checking to see if you know what, actually I can't remember if he special ordered it to buy it or if he was waiting for it to come in because someone I think he wanted to rent it. I think that's what it was, and I think someone had it out and someone just like fucking kept it or whatever, and he would come in like once a week, twice a week, and ask if Iron Eagle 4 was in because he really wanted to see it. I mean, this is back in the day. If it wasn't on cable, you had to rent it, right? So yeah, like nonstop, like clockwork every fucking week. Is Iron Eagle 4 in yet? No, sorry, it hasn't come back in. And we were like, literally, like everybody in the store knew, okay, if this comes in, hold this fucking movie. And I think the manager, if I recall correctly, finally like did a special order to get it back in stock because he kept asking. So, and then he watched it and he said it wasn't very good. Like after all that, like he's like, it wasn't very good.
was that the one? Because I do love 1 and even 2. But was it 3 or 4? What was that? Might the one we're talking about might have been the one where they had like biplanes. There was one of the films.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I saw 2.
They stopped with the like F-15s and like actual real combat planes, and there was like kind of like a buff woman that was almost like early 1990s. Who was the woman from Mandalorian that hangs out with that saves him? The buff chick with the tat, the rebellion.
Cara Dune.
Yeah, it was like the Cara Dune of the Iron Eagle franchise was prominent on the VHS box, but I feel they had like primitive aircraft, and that's how they were going to stop the villains, and like that was whack. Sorry, fuck.
Oh man, always love a good Iron Eagle discussion.
It's all Jetfire's fault.
You could love your Iron Eagle movies all you want. None of them beat Turbulence 3.
Oh well, that movie's the fucking greatest movie of all time.
That's not apples to apples,
Isn't it?
sir.
Slade Craven flying a goddamn plane.
Have you seen that one, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, wasn't he twins? It was like the weird like death metal dude meets Crow hijacking the plane.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. It's fabulous. It's terrible, but
He was doing a concert in a plane.
Yeah.
Because wasn't
And his
actually
his ganger was like ready to blow up the plane while it was in mid-flight.
because wasn't the first film Turbulence, was that with Ray Liotta?
No, Tom Berenger.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And it was during that.
Sorry. By the way, Raven Shadow, our pal Anthony says, I have the magic blood, so if you need the antibodies, sure thing, man. So he can come hang out and give you his antibodies.
Let's drink blood, dude. Let's fucking do that,
Did you say
man.
let's drink blood?
Yeah, let's fucking some bloodletting, dog. Come on.
Some bloodletting, dog.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Nothing wrong with two grown men.
I have never, ever, I bet in the history of the world, these words have never been spoken. Let's do some bloodletting, dog. Evil Corny says Rocky Balboa should have Paulie and his drink serving robot if he was a Joe.
That's true.
There you go. All right. Well, I think enough. You know what? Maybe we should do a commentary of Turbulence 3 sometime. That would be fucking funny.
That'd be fucking rad, dude.
Do you think we could do that, MZ? What would you think of doing a commentary of that?
Of what? Which movie?
Of heavy metal, Turbulence 3 heavy metal.
Oh, Jesus. That would be amazing. Holy shit. The last hour of that movie is just fucking bonkers. How anybody could actually take that shit seriously is beyond me. It is amazing.
I forgot
that last half hour.
I forgot that Rutger Hauer was in that.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I couldn't get Richard Lynch, so.
And Slade Craven was played by John Mann.
Yes.
Who is really
Josh.
What's that?
Josh Gad?
No, I said John Mann.
Oh, John Mann.
John Mayer.
He looks totally normal. Like it's funny seeing him without the makeup and the hair from that movie.
It was a wig, though, right? I was very disappointed. Was it a wig?
Probably. Oh yeah. In the movie, yeah.
There was a scene where, like,
yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, enough of Slade Craven. I guess we'll start to wind things down here. Let me see what else. Just making sure I didn't miss any chat. I don't think I did. All right. So if you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And there you can help support the show for as little as $2 a month. And if you guys want some of the exclusive Patreon episodes, we put them out monthly, and we give you something a little bit different format than what we do on the weekly show. And we got a new one coming up within the next several days to week. Hopefully we'll get that out. I know I don't know if with the holiday we could probably plan to do it, but yeah, so every month we put out a bonus episode exclusive to Patreon supporters, and that's in the $5 a month tier. So if you guys want to help support the show and get something for your efforts, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And there's some other tiers as well. You can take a look at some of the other rewards that we have in there. If Patreon's not your thing, you can also just use our Amazon link. If you guys go to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it. It's going to bring you to Amazon, input our affiliate link, and everything you purchase in that session will get attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help spread the virus.
No. You don't want to do that.
Why?
Jesus Christ.
Well, you told me last week that it was getting too old, what I said before, and I figured I'd be
That's
topical.
kind of a sensitive subject, man. You don't want to spread it.
No, spread the Trick or Treat Radio virus, the metaphorical virus.
Yeah,
okay?
we're in the middle of a pandemic.
It's topical.
Choose your words.
It's another way to help keep the lights on.
Thank you. And we also have a store on trickortreatradio.com. If you go click store, you'll see some digital goods. We've got the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio volumes 1 through 3. Feel free to check those out as well. Anything you can do to help support, keep us going, we'd appreciate it. Obviously, the show is not free. We we pay a subscription for software. We pay for equipment, hosting, web hosting, and also for podcast hosting. And I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff in there too. So fast internet, all those things. So if you guys can help support the show, we'd appreciate it. All right, Raven Shadow. So you sit down to watch a movie on Netflix. Easy. You could figure this out, right? No problems. What do you do to prepare to watch the platform?
I'm having some problems, Johnny, though, because did you guys see that thing on the news the other day about Samsung DVDs players stopped working?
Blu-ray players, yes.
Blu-ray, yeah. So I'm encountering that in the bedroom. So I'm having some problems.
Ooh, encountering some problems in the bedroom?
No, it's really not.
Things aren't working in the bedroom. Okay, we're with you.
What kind of Blu-rays? What kind of Blu-rays do you watch in the bedroom?
No, I have an internet connection, dude. But
so buttons. So you can't find buttons in the bedroom. Okay.
No. I literally watch Smallville season 3 currently, but my fucking Samsung Blu-ray's fucking being a dick. It won't fucking play. I was having anxiety. Then I'm like, oh shit.
More movie anxiety.
It sucks, man. I don't need the fucking kind of stress, man. I don't need that. You understand? The Blu-ray's not working. Now I'm thinking, I got a fucking Samsung Blu-ray downstairs. Is that gonna fucking stop working? Should I not watch fucking a movie? Should I not watch, episode 6 of season 3 of Tales from the Crypt for the Tales of the Podcast episode? I'm gonna be on in a couple of weeks. I don't fucking know. So I get fucking stressed. So I'm like, thank God, Johnny, that this movie's on the Netflix where I can watch that upstairs, I can watch that downstairs, I can watch it on my phone. So that calms me down a little bit.
Wait. Did you actually watch this downstairs? Because there's some connotations about watching the platform from down below.
It's true, and it's funny. That's why I made a conscious effort to watch it upstairs, on the upper level. Okay.
Where the Uncrustables are just a few steps away.
I got the Uncrustables flowing.
Did you put them on a platform in front of you and pig out for like a minute and then disappear down to the basement?
We had a game. Me and Ollie, we would like throw food on the table and like try to get it, keep it from Chloe. So it was nice. So then I had to strap. Whoa! So I'm fucking get too fucking close to it. I didn't listen. So fucking lonely, Johnny. Anthony. So before that, you better believe. Hey, it's a holiday weekend. I'm off tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. So I had to strap on.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. All right, we're got a movie to talk about. Turbulence 3, Heavy Metal. Just kidding. I know it disappoints you, MZ. We're not doing that.
Well, hey, maybe next week, huh?
Don't tempt me. All right, so we are talking about a film called The Platform. This film was released just recently, well, actually earlier this year. I think February or March, somewhere around. Oh, actually, no, I think it was March, April. Yeah, March 20th to be exact, on Netflix. It is a Netflix exclusive, and I am going to butcher some names here. It is directed by a Spanish director named Galder Gaztelu Orisha. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. And it was written by David De Sola, and the film stars Ivan Masague, Zorian Iguelor, Antonia San Juan, Emilio Boale, Alexandra Masanke. And the synopsis: a vertical prison with one cell per level, 2 people per cell, one only food platform, and 2 minutes per day to feed from up to down. An endless nightmare trapped in the hole. All right, so this is a pretty heavy one. There's some not so subtle in your face sort of stuff going on, obviously. I think that this will be an interesting discussion. Just to talk a little bit about the director, I'm not familiar with him, and I've never seen any of his stuff because this is his first feature. He's done a couple shorts, and he's produced some stuff as well, but in terms of directing, this is a feature film debut, which, you know, as we get into it, we'll talk about how impressive that may or may not be. But to me, that's it's pretty impressive for this to be your first film. And it is a Spanish-speaking film, and obviously since it's on Netflix, we have the ability to watch it subtitled or dubbed, whichever you prefer. I don't know what you guys did. I did subtitles just because I always like hearing the actual language. I know we've had this discussion, but I just like hearing the true performance. Whether or not I can understand it, I just like hearing the original performance. So I just turned the original Spanish language on and did subtitles on this. Did anyone else do subtitles, or did you guys all do dub?
No, subtitles.
I did dub. I didn't know it had an option. I just pressed play and watched.
You did subtitles, Raven Shadow?
Oh yeah. No. Despite Monster Zero's continual mentioning it, I would much rather watch a subtitle film for the reasons that Johnny mentioned.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure because like Aries said, for me, it just automatically went to the dub. And I was like, wait, I thought this movie was, Spanish speaking. And then I noticed that there was, obviously that the sync wasn't matched up since it was filmed in another language. So I just looked for the dub and turned it off and turned on subtitles. But either way, I'm actually kind of curious how it plays for different people based on that. But so this got I'd say a pretty good amount of attention when it dropped in March, and has been fairly well reviewed from what I've seen. And it also was featured at TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival, Sitges, and a few other I think it was kind of an award-winning film on the circuit on the when it played all the festivals and stuff. So, and the film is 94 minutes, considered a horror sci-fi thriller. All right, so I think right off the bat, this film is not pulling its punches. It's not subtle at all. I think you guys all know what this is not one of those subtext, you don't need your monocle to see the subtext in this one, right?
Yes.
Did anyone not see the subtext?
I don't think you can call it sub. I don't know. Just
right. Well,
it's kind of it's really kind of in your face.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean.
I think much like a Phil Collins tour, no jacket required. There's no subtext required for this film.
No what required?
No subtext.
Yeah.
No subtext required.
But subtitles.
Yeah, we put the fucking subtitles on, dude.
All right, so yeah, I mean, even I don't know if you guys watched the trailer or knew anything about this going in. Did anyone go in completely cold on this one?
I did.
I only knew what you sent us.
Yes.
When you gave us the choices, I read that. And I made my choice based on I thought this was going to be a shit show. Like that's kind of like I went all in on this one. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so bad. I'm going to have fun tearing this apart. That's why I picked this one.
Interesting.
You jumped on this one. You're like, platform.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, this sounds horrible. I want to tear this apart. We're doing this one.
Because I didn't understand what the description or I'm like, I don't understand the fucking platform. There's two prisoners. I'm like, I don't fucking understand.
Well, it's very vague, yeah.
Yeah.
The synopsis is, anyways.
Once you see the movie, the synopsis makes sense. But without seeing it, it makes absolutely no sense. That's why I thought it was going to be horrible.
And it could be that there's a translation in the synopsis or something like that, because it does sound weird saying one only food platform and 2 minutes per day to feed from up to down. It is kind of like, it sounds like it might be a translation issue, because that is
probably
because that is kind of a weird synopsis. But yeah, so we start out right away. We get the lay of the land. We know what this is going to be about. We get to meet our. I call him a hero. I guess we'll kind of argue the merits of calling him a hero, but Goreng is the lead here, and he is in a cell with Trimagasi, an older gentleman, and Goreng, as we find out, is just kind of he wakes up here, and he seems kind of surprised by what's going on. So at first you don't know. Does he know where he is? Does he know anything about this? And then as we go on, we find a little bit more about his character, and that he actually chose to be in the hole is what they refer to it as. And so he said he was going to get a degree, like in place of, doing going to school for 2 or 4 years or whatever. He goes to the hole and he was going to get a degree. That was his story. And so we find out that his cellmate, Trimagasi, is there because he's in prison because he killed someone. And I love that scene where he's explaining kind of what drove him to do it. And he was talking about the Samurai Max. He sees this commercial for this knife that, and then he said, he went out and he got the Samurai Max, and then next thing he saw was an advertisement for the Samurai Plus, a self-sharpening knife, one-upped, so in a sense, this little story is this sort of like allegory about commerce and how like there's always something new, right? Like it's this never-ending cycle of commerce. There's always going to be the next latest and greatest thing, right? And I just thought that was so well summarized the way he did that the way he told that story in like 2 minutes or whatever. I just thought it was such a cool allegory for, you know, sort of this very commercial world that we live in, you know, and how there's always the next best thing. And he couldn't take it. He took his TV, threw it out the fucking window, and it fell on someone and killed him.
How this was no guy was gonna be there?
Yeah,
his fault. Like it wasn't his fault. It was the guy that was driving by on the bike that had a fucking TV fall on his head.
And there was so.
Well, they also said that he was. They also said he was an illegal immigrant. So if he was following the law, he never would have been there. He never should have been there to begin with. So he's piling all the blame on the victim, which is what most killers, people who accidentally kill people, do. Anyway.
Well, not even just killers, but Republicans.
Yeah.
I mean,
GOP.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not calling out a whole section of people, but I just mean certain ones in power right now. You know, if you guys remember when there was like a couple years ago now, it seems like fucking decades ago, when, you know, our current president was just in office and talking about illegals and stuff like that, and, you know, talking about how many illegals murder people, and if they weren't there, no murders, you know, these murders wouldn't be taking place. So yes, it's in essence like, I thought it was sort of like a take on that, you know, of you know, people, illegals being in a position, you know, where they shouldn't be, and other people wouldn't suffer for it, if you will, you know.
Oh yeah, this movie takes heavy on in certain moments takes heavy on the world that we live in, not just today, but say, you know, 20 years, 30 years ago. There's a strong message there. We'll get into it a little bit more as we talk.
I think it's funny how much this kind of hits home for us right now in this country, and it's a Spanish film. Like, is that intentional or is that accidental?
Well, I think the point is that there's corrupt governments all over the world, right? Like, so I do think it was a take on current events of the current state of things in America. But I think that a lot of different countries could watch this and be like, oh yeah, that's reminiscent of what's going on here. You know, because I think that there's just a lot of corrupt governments. I'm not saying all of them are. And I don't know about Spain. Honestly, you know, it's not fair for me to even attempt to comment because I don't know. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe the director lives in America. You know, I don't know where he lives now. So, you know, I think that it's probably relevant in a lot of places, but especially here and now. I think it's especially relevant. And yeah, and it's just a really sort of interesting take on things. And especially there's a lot of parallels, and they call the higher ups, the people who are in charge, the administration, right? So, I mean, that's kind of what we would call our government. So there's a lot of parallels to what's going on right now in this country, and I'm sure that there are parallels in others as well. But this is the perspective that we have, so I think it rings especially true to us. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on here, and so when you go into the hole, you get to choose one item to bring with you. So it's actually kind of interesting to see what the characters choose, and I think it says a lot about their character. Like we have Goreng, who brings in a copy of Don Quixote. You know, he's the only person ever, apparently, to bring a book with him.
Yep.
You know, and then we have Trimagasi, who, of course, brings in his Samurai Plus, his self-sharpening knife, which, as we find out, was probably a really smart move on his part, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But we see,
but the copy of Don Quixote plays a lot to the character that brought it in.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot to that.
There's a lot of parallels between. Yeah, there's a lot of parallels between Goreng and the character of Don Quixote.
Yep.
So there is a play as to why that book was brought in.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some, and then as later on as we get to meet different characters, we see what their item is. Like someone had a rope, someone had a fucking dog, which yeah, I mean you had to know that was not going to go well, right?
So you go into a fucking prison, and I would bring Oliver anywhere, but fuck this place. I'm not going to bring fucking Oliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? But here's the thing. We have no idea what the outside world from this place is like because it's never ever shown. Yes. This is this I guess a tower, I guess you could say, or I don't know if it goes up into the air. I don't know if it sinks into the ground, but this tower, I'll call it that anyway, is completely self-contained. You never see what goes on outside of it. So, for instance, the Gering's roommate, what's his name again?
Trimagasi, the first one?
Trimagasi.
Yeah.
Like he had because he killed someone, he had the opportunity to make a decision between either going where he is or being in a psychiatric ward.
Yeah, true.
And he decided to go with this. And this is without anybody knowing how bad it is inside this place. So when the character that brings in the dog, because this person wanted to see for this person's self, what it's like in there, and that person realizes that, well, maybe bringing my dog wasn't exactly the smartest move in the world.
Well, that person was very delusional as to how it worked in there.
Yeah.
Right. Which is how it is anyway.
Yeah, well, that's as the movie plays out, you start to realize that the powers that be don't understand. Like they think they do, and they're trying to do one thing, but they can't even fathom what is happening in there.
Well, they either don't understand or don't care.
I think that's an important distinction though that Aries said, is that they don't because they set the rules, but they have no idea what the impact it has on the people. That's once again look how out of touch our government is. They thought a $1,200 check was going to get people through a fucking pandemic without work. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, no.
What about the people who are out of work, can't get unemployment or gig based, like our boy Rocky up in Canada. Thankfully, he's in Canada because they're actually taking care of their gig workers. But I don't think gig workers down here would could file for unemployment, as far as I'm aware. So basically, if you're like a musician or an artist or something like that, and your work dried up, you're kind of fucked. So $1,200, what is it going to do? Pay your rent for a month, and maybe depending on where you live, maybe a grocery trip. In some places, that won't even pay your rent. In some places.
No, correct. I mean, in fucking Boston. Fuck
oh
you.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Oh, forget it.
Yeah,
$1,200 won't even cover that.
I mean, to be
cover
fair,
a month.
Or that's a little bit more than my mortgage payment because I refinanced last year. But still, that's not the kind of money dude, we could fucking get $1,200. We'll fucking move to Mexico. That's not a throw all the way dollar amount. That's not a score that's going to get you through.
And when did people get their checks? Was it April?
Something like that.
April, maybe May. I can't remember now at this point. But yeah, I mean, so I'm just saying, once again, it just shows how out of touch, the administration can be in this movie and also in real life, where they're setting the rules, but have no concept of how that affects the people that it trickles down to.
And as the movie goes on, you can see that it, even if it went perfectly, it's not going to go how they think it's going to go.
Yeah.
Well, they kept talking about. Sorry, Johnny.
Go ahead.
I had a kind of a thought about. I'm going to call it the tower, just for lack of a better term, because because I maybe I do picture it like Monster Zero said, like it's a weird, like fucked up high rise. Yeah, I can only imagine what this looks like from the outside world. But it seemed like it's not like it was a prison. It wasn't like it was Oz, right? It wasn't like it was like the Vault from Marvel. Like it wasn't like a Supermax prison. It seemed like other characters were there for different reasons. Almost like a weird, you could maybe be there if you would go into a rehab or a wellness facility.
Yeah.
You know, talking about, I'm going to say his name. It's not Garon, but it's Gorang.
Gorang. Yeah.
Gorang. Big G.
You know what I mean?
Like, he was going for a diploma they kept talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe if I were to eventually, when I do, check myself in someplace, I would probably bring something.
Sooner than you think.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, do I bring a samurai sword or bring my dog? Or do I bring Preacher with me? Like, I don't know where I'm going into. So it seems,
as we've established, your favorite thing in the world.
It is. It's non-living thing. Okay. But like, what do I bring Jetfire with me if I'm on Monster Zero?
One thing you can't bring is your smokes, because they don't allow smoking here either.
Oh,
that is true, Raven Shadow.
Yeah.
You couldn't bring your smokes.
Yeah. You just hit the wall, buddy.
Yeah, well, fuck it. And listen, if you're in prison, you should be allowed to smoke. Listen, it's not for nothing.
Okay, but you would only be able to bring one pack of cigarettes for however long you're in there.
How about a carton is one?
No,
pack?
one pack of cigarettes.
One pack. That should last you a couple hours.
Well, if you suck down 2 in 10 minutes.
It's all relevant to what you got to get to rationalize.
Yeah, and you know what? Cigarettes, no lighter. That's a second item.
That's true. Yeah, you have to make your own fire.
Yeah, unless you become David Copperfield and have it come out of your hand.
He's David Copperfield.
Yeah, like a Russian with the Roman fingers. Don't tell me. But yeah, so it seemed like why people voluntarily went there might not have been the experience they thought they were getting.
Well, no one knew what they were getting into walking in there. They all thought it was going to be their easy way out or to get what they wanted. You know, the degree or not going into the mental institution or whatever else. It was their easy way out. But, I mean, in their heads, easy way out, as you found out.
Yeah,
right.
Watching the movie, not an easy way out.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing about it, and that's why I think it works a little bit better, because if everybody was imprisoned against their will, I think that this doesn't work quite as well. But because people are supposedly there from, I don't know, like whether you're trying to get it, and the thing I thought was him trying to get a degree was basically like a prison sentence, because if you get a degree in this day and age, like you're paying that shit off for 40 years or whatever, you know?
And is there some weird thing to even like join the military? Join the military, get a degree, all this and that. You can get this, you can get that. And I take it back to, Han Solo. What good's a reward if you ain't around to spend it?
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of, too. You know what I mean? Like,
Han Solo.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. Starship Troopers, join the military, get citizenship.
Right. Nice Starship Troopers reference, Aries. We saw that together.
Oh,
I miss Aries so.
How much?
A lot. I miss Aries.
Like this much? Is it?
Yeah. I got longer arms.
So anyway, the administration that is on floor 0, which is the top floor, they set up all the food on this. Yeah.
Floor 0.
And they set up on this gigantic platform that sinks down to each floor with a shit ton of food, very well made food, extravagant food, meats, cheeses, desserts, lettuce, seafood,
burger,
salad, burgers, fries.
Imagine if Chow Daddy was the fucking cook.
Chow Daddy was in the pit.
Just riding the thing down the whole way, singing and dancing.
His hand spaghetti.
I'm tired of. I don't gotta do.
I'm tired of being in this fucking hell.
I don't like spaghetti.
We need to make that. We need to make Chow Daddy platform.
He is in jail. He is in jail now. So.
That is true. You've told us, yeah. Spaghetti.
I don't like spaghetti.
Cannibalism.
Wow.
Cannibalism. So all this awesome food. It's like a big banquet, and it just goes down to each floor, and that platform sits there for 2 minutes while everyone else gorges themselves on food, and they don't get fed until the next day. So there's supposedly like 200 floors, and every 2 minutes it sinks lower and lower and lower and lower until to the point where people even halfway through are fighting for scraps.
Yeah, and I wanted to I'm trying to look up to see what floors Goring was.
I think they started 48, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Started on 48. So there was, so by the time it reaches floor 48, which where our characters are staying, the table is pretty much decimated. There's very little left, but there is some stuff there.
Yeah.
And Maserati or whatever his name is, he starts filling himself up with, and making a real pig of himself. And he's just shoveling food, whatever he can find, into his mouth. It's all over his face and shit. He looks like a real slob.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because it's one of this. It's not to him. It's normalized, right? Trimagasi, because it's completely normalized to him because he's been through this. But to Goreng, the first time around, he's like, I'm not eating someone else's fucking scraps. Fuck that, And once again, as he learns sort of the rules, he realizes, okay, well, if I don't eat, I'm obviously going to die eventually, But yeah, he starts out on 48, and from there, I think they were saying, like, I can't remember, but they're getting kind of like towards the end of the food at 48. So it probably lasts about 75, if that. And then from there, like the levels below don't get a fucking thing, right? So it's really this trickle down sort of system where if people at the top were less greedy, the people at the bottom would get more. Like, it is such a fucking beautiful allegory for what happens, especially in this country. Like, they talk about the
not only.
Go ahead, MZ.
No, go ahead.
John, you should go.
They talk about the top 1%, right? Top 1% owns 99% of all wealth in this country. Like, that is absolutely it. They get whatever they fucking want. And one of the beautiful things about that they point out in this is those that are higher up, what was it? Let me see. I wrote down a shitload of notes about this. So those that are higher up have more, and the ones below obviously get the scraps of what those above them don't want. And it's just, there's such an interesting sort of dynamic about what's going on here, And when you have everything, so if you're on level 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, even like the top 10 levels, let's say, like in this system, you have everything and you have nothing to look forward to. Like, that's one of the things they talk about is when you have everything, you have nothing to look forward to, but because you're getting fed every day, right? If you're in that top 5 or 10 or whatever, you're getting your pick of whatever you want. And if you're number 1, you're the first person to touch that food. and then everyone below you will have your scraps of whatever you don't want. So I just thought that was such an interesting dynamic, and the people, the lower you get, the more you have of this sort of like hope, this almost like a sense of desolate hope, where you're hoping for something, but chances are you're probably not going to get anything, but there's that and it's I see that all the time. I've been there. I've struggled, and you're just waiting for that big break, right? Like that thing. Oh, well, this week I'm going to get like that extra bonus in my paycheck, or I'm going to get a fucking scratch ticket and I'm going to hit it big this week. Whatever. Like all of these little like false moments of hope. And I think that does a perfect job of illustrating that in this, because when you have nothing or you have very little, all you have are these moments of hope of this is finally going to be the thing that does it for me, right?
Right. It's the golden ticket.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think what's important to mention, the dynamic of once again I'm going to say the tower, is that you're on a floor for a month, and then something happens when you get moved to another level.
Yeah.
Right.
So like if you're like our characters who are on floor 48 could find themselves the following month on floor 160. And so their chances would be even worse to get some food.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? I'm sorry, I might be saying something intelligent, and tell me if I'm not.
Go ahead. Yeah, go.
Is that the fact that we get just enough of scraps? Maybe we do get fucking our taxes back. Which, motherfucker, that's not a gift if we get our taxes back. It means those motherfuckers too much from us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, we took too much from you. Or if you owe taxes, you didn't pay the motherfuckers enough. The way it should work is that it should be fucking even. No one should owe anything, and no one should fucking get anything back. Is the magic trick. So all right, now I'm on room fucking 104, and I'm eating glass for a month. Maybe I might get to room fucking 75, and I can have a broken Twinkie, a pack of hot dogs, and a dirty muffin.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's a big screen TV. Here's Netflix. Go back to bed, America. Don't worry about who's fucking you in the ass every fucking day of your life. Oh yeah. You may go in the fucking Publishers Clearinghouse, or you may get this.
But
you'll never be in the club. Sorry, Johnny. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's why we have all like things like that. Like, that's why even playing fantasy sports or doing something like DraftKings or whatever, people are hoping, gambling, like people are hoping to like hit it big. And you're right, like you get these little sort of things to keep you sort of coming back and keeping you in the system, but not really thriving in it, And I would say, I don't know, I'll speak for you guys, but I would say that we're all fairly middle, like entrenched in the middle class, right?
That's fair. And
I mean, we all do okay for ourselves. We're not about to get kicked out and living on the street, and we can afford food and some nice things here and there. But there's people out there who don't have that luxury, and not that we, obviously we can't go out and, like Raven Chat, we can't go out and buy a brand new fucking car because we hate our current car, or we can't go buy all the Transformers in the fucking world because we can't afford that shit, or Aries can't buy all the best whiskey,
Or even if we can, it's not prudent enough to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, when I got this car, I wanted no down payment. I wanted a less car payment than the car I had. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to put more into something. I wanted a lower car payment because I was going through a change in my life at that time, different continuity, and I didn't want, more than that. Everyone's got plenty of fucking credit. They'll give you credit. You can get things.
Oh yeah.
But you don't want.
They'll gladly give you credit because then you're gonna fucking owe more.
Right. It's like, they will. You can do that, but you don't want to be lived to paycheck. Ideally, you know what I mean. And then this time, I've saved some money. But by no means am I fucking. There's people I work with, that are fucking downright fucking scumbags is a nice term.
Okay.
But maybe they have a lot more money than they fucking need to. You know what I mean? And there's dollar amounts where I'll never see. There's certain dollar figures that I will never be able to see just because it's not going to fucking happen. And I don't fault anyone if you earn your paper, dude. I'm not going to fucking fault you for earning your paper. But there's a class divide. Even if you're in a okay or upper middle class, there is still a fucking class divide. And it does get worse. Drive to fucking work, and you will see that fucking class divide of who's on the street and who's there, you know. But we're fucking great. We're pretty great, right? America's pretty great again.
Well, you know what? This movie actually, I think, plays into that a lot more than they let on. I would actually have to watch it again to prove what I'm thinking, but I don't think the floor movements were random. I think the way the characters acted played a part in where they went their next move.
Yeah, that's actually something I hadn't really considered, or not that I hadn't considered it, but hadn't given a lot of thought to, because I actually just watched it before we did the show, so I haven't it was pretty heavy to kind of finish with that right before we start, but that is kind of a heavy thing, and that was one thing I was trying to figure out is how did the assignment how did that kind of tie in to their behavior, so what because you said that, Aries, was there something that you thought led to Gorang and Trimagasi getting sent down to, like, what was it, 160 or something like that?
I say this, and I'd have to watch it again to prove my theory.
Yeah.
And I don't want to speak, because part of what that anyone who hasn't watched this, when you watch it, I recommend watching it.
Yeah.
I'm saying it right now. Watch it. Watch it and pay attention to how the characters act and see if you can pick out a pattern as to why they go up or down. Because in theory, I want to watch it again, but whether I have the time or not, I don't know if I will. And I'm really curious as to whether there is a pattern and whether I'm correct or not, or whether I'm just seeing that's not there. Because I thought it was random, and then I was trying to think back as I was having this thought.
Well, it has to be. I think you're on something, Aries, because the administration had plans in place. Basically, the whole thing of, all right, well, if we know the food comes down at this point, I'm gonna hoard some. But they have a countermeasure if you want to hoard food. So they know. It seems that the administration wants to.
Once again,
that's smart.
That's in essence saving money, right? They don't allow you to hoard or take any with you. You only get what you can get in those 2 minutes, and if you take anything, basically you are punished, right?
Oh yeah, and you know what? And you using the word hoard, because that's saving.
Sure.
They were just trying to make a savings.
Conserving.
Yeah, conserving. Yes.
I'm not hungry right now.
Right.
But I'll be hungry later. I already eat breakfast at 8 in the morning. I like breakfast around 11 a.m. You know what I mean? But
you have scramby eggs.
I miss scramby.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like, you can look at all the different, the details about this film, and it makes sense to what's going on in, not necessarily in this country, but just in general, like in the class system, like the people who are fucking filthy rich, they get to have whatever they fucking want, and and then the people down at the bottom are just like basically those. I mean, those are the people who are committing crimes, right? The people who are killing others, the people who are doing whatever because they're living in poverty, and they basically you have no choice, right? Like you're almost like faced with I have no choice but to do this,
But then it also perpetuates the cycle of, all right, so I'm on floor 100 for a month. And then whatever reason, so I'm fucking fighting. I'm eating glass. I'm fighting maybe I'm contemplating cannibalism, right? I'm contemplating doing horrible fucking shit. And then a month later, well, now I'm on floor 5. Or I'm even on 35. And I get a little bit more. So all the time I've spent on the bottom fighting it, well, now I fucking deserve it. I fucking earn it. And it perpetuates the cycle of fighting amongst the people who are still below class of the motherfuckers that run all the shit.
Yeah.
Not to be on a fucking tangent, right? Like, we fucking drain the fucking swamp. Motherfucker, you are the fucking swamp. Sorry. But, like, there's a percentage. And Chris Rock does it. I will never do Chris Rock better. Not rich, but wealthy. There's different fucking things there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you see it. These people, they forget where they came from when they end up on these lower numbers. And it shows, that at one point, the I forget his name, the old guy, the first roommate,
Trimagasi.
as he's finishing eating, he spits out a bunch of food onto the tray, onto the platform as it's lowering down. And he says, what happens if the people above did that same thing? In his response of course they did. They're above.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just kind of understood that the people above will spit and shit on the people below.
It's very societal, really. What goes on in this prison is really no different than what goes on out in real life.
Oh yeah, it's just a parallel.
The 1%ers, the 1%ers shit on everybody, and everybody jocks for position to be as close to that 1% as they can without making that 1%, and then it just trickles down from there. It's almost like a pyramid scheme, really.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean that goes along with my theory of why the floor movements aren't random, while they're picked, while people's reactions and what they do in the real world dictate as to where they are in society. The same goes on these floors.
Yeah. There's also. Go ahead, Reverend Shadow.
Oh, John, you go.
There's also. I want to talk a little bit about when Gorang and Trimagasi go down like to 160 or whatever it was, and so hopefully this isn't. It's not even halfway through the film, so I hope this isn't spoilery for people who haven't seen it. But Trimagasi knows that he's weaker, and Gorang is obviously younger, stronger, more fit. All these things, and so Trimagasi, gets the jump on him basically and ties him to the bed. And says that he's going to eat him. He's going to try to keep him alive, but he's going to eat him because they're not getting any food down there where they are. And he takes zero accountability. He says, he says that he's blaming the people above him as to why he's forced to eat Gorang. He's not he didn't do anything wrong. It's because of them. I'm not a murderer. They're making me a murderer. And
he wants to do it before Goran does to him. And I thought it was nice where he mentioned, "I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat your genitals."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
I
appreciate.
Which makes things so much easier.
Well, he says that right away. He does say he's going to eat it.
Right.
Well, then also because he owns that knife. Because Gorang also figures, because he's there for 10, Trimagazi's there for 10 months. He's supposed to be there for a full year. But this is his 10th month. And so Gorang is figuring out he's here at his 10th month. he's looking pretty healthy. So he's going through his mind thinking that, well, now there had to have been times where he's eaten his other cellmates.
Yep. Yeah, and he has the quote in it, "I blame you," talking to Goreng, "not the ones above or the administration," I think is what the quote was. I'm sorry, that's what Goreng said to Trimagasi. So, because Trimagasi
was going to blame him for his death.
Yeah, Trimagasi was basically saying it's the ones above in the administration, they're the ones that are responsible for this, which, if you think about it, like the, people who are forced to life of crime or committing crimes, a lot of times that's probably the sort of attitude that they have is, I had no choice. The system is fucked. And you know what? Like, they're probably not wrong, right? The system is stacked against people. And so, and then there's also the idea that if everybody ate only what they needed, there would be enough for everybody. That's essentially socialism, right?
Well, at one point he calls him a communist.
Yeah.
Early in the movie.
Right.
And I think that comes around full circle towards the end, where why this system, how they have it, is failing, would fail in an outside society.
Yeah,
I mean, it's getting into spoilers there, but I thought that was very foreshadowing.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And the other thing I thought was interesting, so when Goreng has a different roommate, he has, let me get her name, Imagori, I think is her name, the one with the dog. So she is trying to basically get, like, what she's trying to do is interesting because she says, okay, well, I'm going to make a portion for the people below us. You eat just that portion, and then you make a portion for the people below you. And if we keep this going, we can all eat. Like, so she has good intentions, right?
A team mentality.
Yeah, by doing that, and she's very, very like, every single day for like 2 weeks she does the same thing. I'm going to make a plate for you, eat that plate, and then make a plate for the people below you. And if we keep this up, everyone will have food. So I think the idea was good, but the execution obviously didn't work. No, it didn't work. It didn't even get down to the next level. They were basically like, fuck you.
Yeah, she was pretty naive.
Yeah. But what worked is when Goreng said, if you don't do this, I'm going to shit in your food. I'm going to shit in all the food, and I'm going to, basically smear it on everything. And if you don't do this, you will be eating shit, is essentially what he was saying. So it just shows you people react based on fear, not out of kindness, right?
Right. Well, that's a part of the whole Clockwork Orange thing, right? Are you doing good because you want to do good, or are you doing good because it will hurt you?
Right. And that's, I mean, you could probably go through all walks of life and that we are, I think it's fair to say that we are a fear-based society, right? Like a lot of what,
more than ever,
a lot of what we do is sort of motivated by fear as opposed to acts of kindness. That's why everyone is so fucking selfish. That's why, like, what I was getting to earlier about the mask thing, MC, when you were talking about going to the theater, like, there's so many people that are not wearing masks or don't give a shit about wearing a mask because, you know what? Me wearing a mask is not helping me. It's helping you. Like, if we were hanging out, if we were all in the studio together and I was wearing a mask, that's not helping me. That's helping all of you guys. That's me trying to not be selfish, right? But that's the problem with this fucking world. People are so self-centered and worry about how the world revolves around them and what they can get out of it, not what can I do to help other people? Like, there are nice people, don't get me wrong. There are helpful people out there. But the first thought for most people, especially in this country, is how does this benefit me? And that's exactly what goes into, like, people being against gay marriage or transgendered rights or whatever. You know, you name it. Like, even the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, how does that affect your life? If, you know, like, it's just like to me, the gay marriage thing is like the biggest example, because if a guy and a guy want to get married, how is that affecting your fucking life, right?
Anyone dumb enough to get married, fucking have at it, bro.
Right?
Exactly. It's the worst contract of all time.
Exactly.
It's worse than fucking Omar's contract. It's worse than fucking. It's fine. And once again, gays in the military. Once again, anyone dumb enough to join the military, have at it, bro. Gun. That's awesome, dude. Do your thing, man. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, do you guys? Is that resonating with you guys?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm gonna say I'm not the most unselfish person. I'm definitely, like, readily admitting that. I try to do the best that I can do, and obviously I've gotten better in the last several years. You guys know I'm vegan now because of the animals. Like, that's why I do it. I don't. Obviously, there's a side effect of being slightly healthier and you know, and things like that. There's a lot of benefits, but for me, it's about the animals. They don't have a voice, so I'm doing what I can for them. So that's my choice. I never give anyone grief for making the choices that they make. That's totally fine. But what I can do is what I can do, and that's what I can control. But so many other people just do not give a fuck, and that's why right now there's so many people who aren't wearing masks. They don't give a fuck about other people. That's what I'm hearing. The argument is, yeah, well, you know, if it's going to happen, they're going to get it anyways. What, like, I don't need to be inconvenienced. You know, wearing a mask is an inconvenience. That's all.
Yeah, their rights are being taken away. Their freedoms are being taken away. That's a bunch of horseshit. That is the biggest cop-out answer ever. And next to throwing religion into it.
Absolutely, MZ. Here's the thing: we are literally, the next 3 years are the opening scrawl to all the apocalyptic films that we've waited for. All right, Escape from New York, we surpassed it.
Yep.
You know, Blade Runner surpassed it.
Yep.
But it's 2020. We are now in the future where everything goes wrong. And we are living in the fucking scroll before. And then we all ate dirt forever. And the aliens came. Like,
At this point, I welcome aliens.
Yeah.
I want, as of this recording, we are 2 days shy of Independence Day?
Yeah.
Please, I'm going to the fucking tower. I'm going to hold the fucking signs up. I love aliens. You know, fucking, I will give an alien a beach. Come down here. I will beach ET and blow us all up.
Well, there's definitely one building in that movie that I want blown up.
True.
That's fair. Yeah. That's what I want. Of course you're offended. Of course you're outraged. But no, I mean, like, this sucks, man. And it ain't. Listen, it's gonna be fucking bad, gang. Like, we need to fucking stop. It ain't a fucking. Maybe I'm in the wrong meeting now. I feel like I'm off topic. Wear your fucking mask, dog.
You're not in a meeting or in a podcast.
I'm sorry.
But you know, we did go off on a bit of a tangent there.
Not where I was. I'm not sure where I am.
Well, we did go off on a little bit of a tangent there, but the point was that people are fucking selfish. That is the main thing, is that people are really fucking selfish. And that's why you give someone an entire fucking feast and allow them to do whatever they want, knowing that they're taking from others. They don't give a fuck, right?
And that going back on track, Johnny. As bad as it is, we're still so fucking lucky that it's not zombies. You know what I mean? Of all the shit that's going on, that is terrible.
Or that we're not in Hong Kong now.
No, you know what? I'd rather have zombies because then at least I'd get my aggressions out.
No,
yeah, I can fight a zombie. I can't fight a plague.
That's true. But at least we're here now, the four of us fucking doing this. And I wish we were all together. I wish Johnny was in Massachusetts. But at least we can still do this. So we're still lucky enough to have our entertainment. We're able to do some normal things. But come on, man. Like, fucking, it's going to get fucking bad. Has no one not seen fucking movies or read books? Like, it gets fucking worse. I don't want to fucking make bamboo huts and catch rainwater. That's going to suck.
And someone actually mentioned this earlier, I think. But literally, they're in this film, there is a white couple shitting on a black man.
Yeah.
Like,
spoiler alert.
How
I was in. Oh, yeah, good.
I mean, it's not a spoiler. Like, how poignant is that, right?
Yeah. It's a very surprise fecal play in this picture.
Surprise fecal play.
Yeah. Didn't see that. Haven't seen that before. I'm sure MZ has seen it like 10 fucking times.
Yeah. It's the opening scene of Butt Crack.
And funny thing, I didn't know it was the woman. I thought it was the dude.
Yeah, it's a chick.
So I was worked. That's outrageous.
And one thing that did kind of make me chuckle was the panna cotta is the message.
Oh yeah.
I won't say too much more, and I don't want to talk much more about what happens from there.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I would say
major spoiler territory there.
There's a moment coming up that I want those two action figures.
Right next to the trio from Train to Busan.
Yeah. Yes. Once again, you get the Randy figures, the Train to Busan, Haas, and the other guys. I wanted two characters. Were fucking dope, dude. I love their tech.
So Garang and Baharat, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I want those guys in a movie.
I guess
they were in a movie.
Yeah, that scene was pretty fucking outstanding, though.
Yeah, it was. Now Gorang. Now, if we could just get back to Gorang, we're talking about how he brought with him a copy of Don Quixote with him.
Yep.
And Don Quixote, he kind of not only does he kind of resemble Don Quixote, he's got the mustache, the little beard, the shaggy hair, kind of thin. So he kind of resembles Don Quixote, but he also resembles the Don Quixote as well. And maybe, I would say that would be about it. I was going to say maybe Sancho as well, probably. But he does carry some of the traits of a knight in certain regards, much like Don Quixote does.
Yeah, I could see that, and especially his sort of his code, if you will, his morals, and
right.
Yeah, and there was also another cool character there we didn't really mention. Talking about too much about her, gets into spoiler territory. But Miharu, I thought was a pretty fucking badass character as well.
She was cool. She's found on the platform that lowers and lowers and lowers, and she's supposedly looking for her son. I think they said,
or a child. I don't know if they.
Which of course is or child. Well, okay. Well, they.
What part of not getting into spoilers do you not understand?
Yeah.
Huh?
So what part of not getting into spoilers are you not understanding?
I'm not getting any spoilers.
Yeah, you kind of are. Just
no, I'm not.
Well, two of us think you are, so maybe we should stop there.
Well, two of us don't. So how do you like that?
What two?
Well,
you and your balls?
yeah, because Raven Shadow's not
Raven
there.
Shadow.
Yeah, he's not there. Oh God. All right. So, I mean, there is a lot that we can talk about with this. I want to start to wrap up. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to bring up that we haven't done so yet? Even any themes or any scenes or anything like that? Actually, the gore, MZ. What did you think of? There wasn't a ton of it, but what did you think of what was here?
Wasn't a ton of gore. There was plenty of violence, but not enough gore. I won't say not enough gore. I mean, you can only put in what the movie allows. What you think is appropriate.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much gore, but there was plenty of violence, righteous violence too. I might add.
Some of it. Yeah.
Lots of head crack. Lots of skull cracking. It was pretty nice.
I thought that the little bit of gore that was in it was done very well.
Yeah.
Enough that it made me kind of cringe a couple of times.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow, I asked this question when you were away, but do you have anything else to add before we head to the verdict?
Not really.
Just any themes that we didn't touch upon, or any specific scenes, or anything like that.
There's a lot to unpack in here, man.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of emotionality, and I like the character. I'm gonna say his name. I don't want to say Goron. But I'm saying
Gorang. El Gorang. We'll call him El Gorang.
El Gorang?
No.
El Goro would fucking everybody up. No, and the theme of the Messiah, like he was sent there. Even there was a great dialogue with his second roommate about, no one brings a book here or this world isn't that brings books. So it's like, okay. So it's now saying the world is not built for those who are intelligent, like the Bill Hicks, looks like we got ourselves a Rita. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
But yet in that world, even when his first roommate wanted to eat him, he was still like, so you're going to read some Don Quixote later on?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to read you. So even the motherfuckers who are going to fucking try to oppress still want fucking entertainment,
right.
Which is funny too, in a weird.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of plays into the whole subtext of the whole thing.
Yeah. Right.
And that's a good point. One of the things that, if you look at what everyone brought with them, none of it had anything to do with art or something of personal value. Well, except for like a couple. I guess the dog would have been, but
the dog, right.
But aside from that, it was, things that could protect you or whatever. Like, nobody valued art in terms of like, if you're going to be stuck somewhere, like, yeah, why not bring a fucking book, or like you said, like bring Preacher, like if you can get the whole collected edition or something like that, like, something that you could do over and over and occupy your time. But no,
it comes. Sorry, John. It comes down to the whole: what movie or book would you want on a fucking desert island?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and maybe whether it's your Bible, air quotes, even that came up too. Like, what God do you believe in? The one true God. Oh, well, which one is that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many, like, everything had purpose in this. Like, almost every line of dialogue had some sort of purpose. And I don't think there was any wasted motion or any wasted words or anything. Like, everything had purpose in this movie. And to the point where I thought it like was going to be a little too, like handholdy and like, or should I say like hammering you over the fucking head. But I think it all worked. I think because they embraced that and really went all in, I think it worked. And that's the thing. A lot of times you can be too subtle and not get your point across, or you can be way too obvious and then it becomes ham-fisted and kind of annoying, right?
Or it become, this is the thing, but it's also the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it's fucking, it is the fucking thing, right? I mean, I know that sounds absurd, but I think, Johnny, you may know what I'm talking about when I say that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Sometimes being on the nose isn't necessarily a detriment.
Yeah,
but sometimes it is what it is, and that's okay.
Yeah. And in this one, I think it was, I mean, it wore its it wore its sort of like not influences, but it wore its story on its sleeve, so to speak. It was real obvious from the very beginning, but everything went back and informed that. If that was the goal, everything had purpose and went back and informed that sort of thesis. There wasn't any extraneous or superfluous dialogue or anything like that. It was just everything fed right back in, and it all made sense. And that's the thing. I think that you could get a director or writer who's trying to like be a little bit too like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and like, oh, look how smart I am, or look what I put in here. But I didn't get any of that,
100%.
So, all right, well, I think we're winding this down. So why don't we head to the verdict on this film?
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it's verdict time. We're going to let you know whether the platform was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with Monster Zero.
I agree that there was virtually no scenes and no dialogue in this film that could have been cut away. I think everything was used to its utmost. I love the idea that this whole prison is this tower in the prison is self-contained, and we never see the outside of it ever, 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 ever. There's no windows. There's nothing. So I really kind of like that claustrophobic environment that the movie gives us. And also much like a prison, I would imagine, the walls are very, very bare, with the exception of some lights and some signaling lights and a really annoying buzzer, I might add, to let you know when the platform is hitting the next floor or your floor. That could drive anybody crazy. So, you got that going against you as well. But it works well for me. I really like the way this whole setup was prepared, and it looked great. It looked like there was feet and hundreds of feet of just floors. It just looked really, really good, actually. I think the performances were really good. There was some real hard scenes to watch at times. Some cannibalism. I always enjoy cannibalism. And hey, what can I say? And like I said, this is a movie that's really based on society. And not only that, but also on government. It's a very telling movie of what we have going on in the world today. And the makers of this movie could never have seen this coming. So, but it's more prevalent now than it was, say, like 2 years ago. It's so much more prevalent now. So he's almost kind of like the director's almost kind of like a fortune teller, really. Jesus, I mean, he really nailed this one.
Well, the thing is, I don't mean to interrupt you, MZ, but this has been going on forever. It's this works 10 years ago. This works 30 years ago. It's just especially poignant now because of other things going on in society.
Yeah, I agree. This was a very well made movie. I was really impressed with it. It does leave some unanswered questions, but I think you just leave those, think about those and leave them to your own devices and just give it some thought. This movie does have some rewatchability value. I like this a lot. This was really, really good. This is a treat.
All right, let's hear from Aries.
If you've been listening at all, obviously, you'd know I find this is a treat. This movie, I can't believe we haven't mentioned that obviously yet. That was great. How that just kept But that character, he reminded me of someone, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Did anyone else get anything? Like, I mean, can anyone else help me with that? Does he remind anyone?
Goreng?
The old guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you said the old guy? I'm sorry.
The old guy, yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
The guy end of UHF that had the lucky dime.
Oh my God, no.
Hey, jeez, you,
mister.
Hey, mister. No.
Here's some change.
I can't believe you
You're such
gave
an
me
asshole.
that 1955 double mint penny. Oh, thanks a lot, mister. That thing was worth a fortune.
All right, my fault for opening it up during my summary here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, this movie it works on so many levels, but it's amazing how
it works on so many levels.
Oh, I actually, yeah.
Very good.
Okay. This movie, it was very heavy-handed, but also just very subtle with other things. It's amazing how well it works. As I said before, I wanted to hate this movie. Like, I was looking forward to tearing this movie apart. And in a way, I'm a little disappointed that I like it so much that I can't. There's little to nothing I can tear apart about this film. The one thing that drove me nuts about this film isn't the filmmaker's fault. Because I watched the dub of this movie, the Foley work was atrocious in the dub. Because they had to wipe out all the audio and redo it. This is coming from someone who hates subtitles. Do yourself a favor. Watch the subtitled version of this because the Foley work is atrocious. It takes you out of it. If I was going to rewatch this movie, I would watch the subtitled version of this. And that's coming from someone who hates subtitles. There is so much about this movie that's going on that we can't even talk about. There is... The ending of it is left wide open, left to your own interpretation. I feel that is brilliant. I am not annoyed with that at all. I think there is something with the numbers in this movie that if you pay attention kind of says something else about this world.
Yeah, I actually
you watch the movie.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about that, but yeah, I don't think it's really.
We can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. And I think that speaks a lot more about this movie when you get to the end and you do some math. So definitely check this movie out. It is worth it. This movie is a treat.
All right, let's go to Raven Shadow.
I really enjoyed this conversation, even if it's fucking about some shitty fucking shit. I like this movie. I did. I did get some parallels to Snowpiercer. Once again, not a apples comparison, but I thought there were some similarities, and I think both flicks would be a great double feature. And maybe throw on Train to Busan as the opening act to have a fun. Do that on what's the holiday?
4th of July.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's funny, the whole fucking class structure, man. We get just enough, and once again, I think we're all lucky enough, or not lucky enough, or whatever reason, to be at a certain, what maybe society deems at a certain level.
Well, one of us is unemployed currently too, so.
and that's a recent result, but I think we've all, and our listeners who been on the show, like, people fucking bust their fucking balls every fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, you're miserable at a fucking job because you want to be able to have your house. You live for your things. You live for your house. You live for your fucking DVD collection. The end of the Wanted comic and even the Wanted film made a comment about, yeah, you can have all the fucking Blu-rays in the world, but the fuck's that going to get you compared to fucking that other percent? And I don't think, you don't want to fucking, I just want my share, man. No, sorry. I want what I've earned. I want what I've earned. Aside from, I can't stop my mom from bringing fucking food over or fucking buying.
Yes, you can. You say, Mom, knock it off.
Aries, you know my mother. Can I fucking stop her?
You could.
Tell her to knock it off, Raven Shadow.
My mom will kick Aries' ass. I'm sorry.
She wouldn't. She loves me.
She does love you, but if it came down to it, she would hide a body for me. No questions asked. Wait, can we edit this? But no, I'm trying to say is everyone wants what you fucking earn, man. And it's frustrating when you can get selfish. And if we only took our share from electricity or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's a whole fucking different topic. But
well, that's the problem. What is your share? Who decides your share? Do you decide it or do I decide your share?
Right. So then does it become what you can? So yeah, right. So then it becomes what you can pay for. If I can afford it, and that's why we don't. So do we go back to having Vikings and mallets and swords? And if you're strong, you can take it.
I'm all for that.
Well, yeah. Well, we're friends, right? So we're on the same team. We have potatoes. But no. So what do you do? Is it? Do you get your share based on your strength or your size, or on your dollars? And if it's something in the middle, is that communism?
Well, socialism is not communism.
I'm not smart, so I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. But you know what I'm trying to say.
All Republicans will have you believe that it is.
Right. I don't want to be a fucking hippie commune. I don't want to fucking be like, all right, Tommy can cook. And then, I don't want fucking that. I don't want to, you know what I mean? You got to have fucking showers. You got to have running fucking stalls and, don't fucking touch my lady, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hippie fucking free law. That's fucking weird. I'm not a fucking hippie.
All right, just give your verdict. You're going off topic.
Come on, man.
I think there's a fucking thing there, man. Like, I don't know. We need to be Star Trek. Star Trek needs to happen right now. Evolve.
Then build a ship.
All right. Come over. This movie's a treat.
All right. One thing I forgot to actually point out early on, I'm wearing a shirt that Evil Corny got me.
Oh.
Boba Fett. You guys see it? Boba Fett.
Very nice.
Oh, is that from the cartoon? Is that?
No, it's just I don't think it is. It's just
the animation.
What's that?
Oh.
All right, let me do my thing. It's not from it's not from the holiday special. So I was kind of blown away by this film. This film was so well made. It's so well written. It's so well directed. This is a first-time director. We didn't really talk too much about that. This is an amazing debut. And I can absolutely see why Netflix would want to pick this up, because this is kind of a hot button. This would have been water cooler talk if there was a water cooler to talk around, And I just think that this is so well done. Like, everything about it. This is a tough line to walk, because you could do a film that is like this, that's a political take on society and class structure, and it could go horribly wrong. This could go horribly wrong, but this walked that tightrope perfectly, and it was in your face. Nothing subtle about it. You didn't need your monocle to fucking see the subtext here. It was in your fucking face, and it's obvious, and it's powerful, and it's like, wow, yes, this totally is, like a perfect way to allegorize what the class structure is like. Once again, I can only speak about this country in America. I don't know what it's like in other countries, so it's hard for me to say, but I'm sure that is pretty common ground throughout the world, aside from any countries that are socialist. But, this is such a cool film, so well done. And I think everyone should see this. Honestly, like, it's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, no point in fucking holding off. Just watch it. It is kind of it could be a powerful watch, and it can be one that will definitely kind of. You need to be alert for this. You don't watch this at like 1 a.m. and be like, yeah, kind of watch this lighthearted film. There's not a lot to digest. It's all right there, but it can be heavy. because it deals with some tough stuff, and there is some violence. So if you're a pearl clutcher, maybe reconsider that. But there's, I wouldn't say shocking violence, but there's violence. When it seems like it's may not happen, and then all of a sudden there's just little bouts of violence. But yeah, this is a great movie, and this is definitely a director to keep an eye on. So Galder Gaztelu Urisha, I'm sure I'm saying your name incorrectly. I will be definitely keeping my eye on what you do next, because this film was really outstanding. So treats all around for the platform. So next week we're actually going from one streaming platform to another. And so moving from Netflix over to our horror brethren on Shudder, and we're going to be talking about a film called Metamorphosis. And this is a South Korean exorcism film. So it recently just dropped on Shudder. It's called Metamorphosis. It came out just this year, and it's an under 2-hour Korean film. I know a lot of people, when they hear a Korean film, they get a little scared, but this one's under 2 hours, and it's directed by Kim Hong-seung. So we'll be checking out Metamorphosis next week. If you guys want to play along at home, go ahead and, if you're not already subscribed to Shudder, get Shudder and check it out. All right. Well, that is going to do it for our discussion of the platform. Oh, and just to call out our boy Corey from Movie Massacre said, I like this film a lot. So Corey dug it. That's all the reason you need to know. That's all you need to know. If Corey dug it, you should check it out.
Corey approved.
Yeah, Corey approved. And Corny approved too, I think. So. All right, so we are now going to do a little bit of feedback because we got some. So let me see here. We got this one, I think, the day after last week's show. So it's a few days old. But it is from one of our friends from Down Under. It's not Dane Under. It is our buddy that we hung out with at Rocket Chuck this past year. And that would be Tim Chuma. So let's hear from Tim.
Unbelievable. Hello, Tim from Australia here again. Yeah, I'm finally going back to the movies tomorrow. I was going to see The Host. And yeah,
nice.
Hopefully everything's not closed down, because I just found out today the people got told to stay home because we're in the lockdown areas, got let go. So, yeah, can't help that. But yeah, at least I'm still working through to the end of October. All right, see you later.
All right. It sounds like he's going to see The Host, which if it is, nice. I mean, there's a couple films called The Host. I assume he is talking about the 2006 South Korean film from director Bong Joon-ho, which is a fucking amazing film, right, MZ?
I agree.
Yeah.
I concur.
So that's probably what he was going to see, because I know Tim is a big fan of Korean cinema. So, have you guys? Raven Shadow's not there. Big surprise, Tim.
Big surprise there.
Tim Chuma speaks highly about it, but Aries, have you seen The Host from 2006 by chance?
I have not.
Okay, I would check that out. I think it's on. Might be on.
Yeah.
Prime or something. I don't know. But if you have 2 hours. I know time is limited for you, but if you have two hours here or there, it's a really good monster movie, and it has all the hallmarks of a great South Korean film. It's got heart, it's got great story, got great characters, and a great fucking monster as well. Raven Shadow, I asked you a question.
And subtitles.
Yeah. I asked you a question. You weren't fucking there.
I had a little hard time.
All right, I'm not looking for excuses.
Yeah. It's not an excuse if it really happened.
There's an incident for that. Just like there's an app for that, there's an incident for that. Raven Shadow, why weren't you there? Oh,
yeah, I'm telling you why. I'll if I'm not there where I'm supposed to be, I will give you the reason why I'm not there.
Okay,
I'll be like,
why weren't you there?
Because I was having a hard time. He wanted a baby toss. I didn't want to fucking fuck up Tim from Australia's voice message, so I tried to get him down the hallway to fucking get distracted.
So you are like you like the gypsies where you toss the babies, right?
No, I'm not throwing gypsies. I'm not throwing babies at tourists. I'm throwing stuff in them like dogs. Yeah, you fucking laugh, Monster Zero. You'll fucking tune you up with your fanny pack.
I'm not laughing, dude.
He's sighing.
So bottom line, what you're saying is the dog has you well trained.
Yes.
No, I love my dog, and I don't want him to.
He does have you well trained, Raven Shadow. He gets like way.
He barked. Yeah. You got up.
He gets way more treats than any other dog.
Well,
or cat.
Well, Chloe doesn't get any treats.
Yeah,
Chloe doesn't get anything.
Just snuff. She has
that
a roof.
Poor cat.
I've been brushing her.
Yeah, no, you haven't.
I have. I got a comb and everything. I got all kinds of stuff over here. You
got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tim Chuma, awesome to hear from you, buddy. I hope you enjoyed the flick. Check in whenever you want. All right, now let's check in with our boy Arkham Josh.
Really?
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here. Just doing my call-in about this week's film. I know this week you guys were watching The Platform. Like you guys, I heard a bit of a buzz about this when it hit Netflix, but I hadn't gotten around to checking it out personally. So I popped it on, and I don't know. It's an interesting concept. The movie looks really good. The actor's pretty good. But it just didn't fully work with me.
Wow.
There was, just a number of little things. Like one of which being they seem to play really kind of wide with the amount of time the platform stops at different places. It almost seems to stop for as long as they need it to sometimes. And other times it's just immediately moving. So I don't know. It just, that kind of bugged me a little bit. And I think that there was not quite enough known about this, the administration. It was a little too vague for the whole thing for it all to work for me. But it was an impressive first feature. And like I said, it looked great. The acting was good. Had some good effects. So overall, I would say tepid treat. And I guess if you already got Netflix, you might as well pop it on sometime, but you don't gotta run out and check it out. One other thing that I did want to mention, the other day when I was poking around on Netflix looking for this, I noticed that they have put up the film An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, which is the new film from the director of Greasy Strangler.
Oh,
and it definitely continues that world, that feeling, similar characters. It is definitely, it does not have the kind of in-your-face offensive-ness of Greasy Strangler. But it does have that very awkward kind of comedy and a more recognizable cast. Definitely look into it. It's an interesting film. I'm not going to say it's anywhere near as good as Greasy Strangler, but I very much enjoyed it, and it makes me even more so continue to look forward to what those guys have to do in the future. So if you get a chance to check that out, the An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, I would say that is a treat and a recommend. So all right, hope you guys are doing good, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
All right, Josh. Thanks, buddy. Always good to hear from you. MZ, have you seen that film yet?
I have not. As a matter of fact, I just found out about it today. So I'm going to cue that sucker up.
Yeah,
probably watch it tomorrow.
It's got a really interesting cast. It's I recall hearing about this when it was actually playing in select theaters. But it stars Aubrey Plaza, Emile Hirsch, Jermaine Clement, Matt Berry and Craig Robinson.
No kidding. Wow.
So it's actually got like a Craig Robinson from The Office, Matt Berry. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but he is in What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show. He was in the IT Crowd, and what else is he known for? He was in I forget that name of that show. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. He was also in that, which he's really fucking funny in. So I like him a lot. Obviously, I love Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, and Aubrey Plaza from Parks and Rec. A big fan of hers as well. So yeah, and also MZ Sky Alabar is in it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm curious. I definitely want to check it out. An Evening with Beverly Luff Lynn, directed by Jim Hosking, the director of Greasy Strangler, is on Netflix now. So that's cool. By the way, Aries lost your camera again for some reason. So if you want to turn it off, turn it back on quick.
Okay. Last time I had to hang up, so I'll try that again.
Oh, just if you can, just hit the camera. There should be a camera icon that you can just hit and then turn it back on.
That work?
I will let you know in a half second.
Okay.
Give it a minute. It sometimes takes a few seconds. While Aries is messing with that, we have another voice message. And actually, let me just comment. I'm actually a little surprised that Josh didn't like it. I thought the platform, the time, when it was there and when it wasn't, I just thought that was, creative editing, because I don't think it was ever there for more than 2 minutes, because that was the time limit. But some scenes were just truncated, so they didn't have the platform there for the full 2 minutes. They just showed what was necessary to show and then edited it, and then it went down. So that
because they did actually say 2 minutes.
Yeah. So that's what I thought, was that it just was not a big deal. It just just editing, because they couldn't show 2 minutes every single time. But hey, if that's something that bugged Josh, like, totally understandable. So, all right, well, let's move on.
Hey, there he is.
We'll get you back, Aries.
There he is.
All right, one more voice message, and this is from our boy, First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. Hope everybody is doing well in this age of the virus. Like to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Enjoy your festivities, but be safe. Be careful. I don't want to, if you drink too much or smoke too much, have somebody drive you home, because I want everybody to be safe in these times. So, hey, maybe stuff gets better by the end of the year. We can all, party hardy and be safe. Next thing, I did enjoy your answers to my birthday questions for Monster Zero and Johnny. Monster Zero, I thought Scrotumus Prime made me laugh out loud when I was listening to the show on Friday morning when I was at work. And I didn't really tell him what I was laughing about, but I found it funny. For me, the Monster Zero triple changer would be as follows. First form, the robot form. Second form, a vulture type transformer. Third form, an Art Bradish truck. Johnny, I'm glad you like the vegan Vanguard. That just popped in my head. I'm like, hey, Johnny deserves another title.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But seriously, I love your idea of a lightsaber focus show a la Gun. I think that'd be a great show, because I find different views of the Star Wars universe really more interesting than just seeing the main story, because at its best, the Star Wars universe is a vast universe full of stories to explore. And I think that's a great way. You get a couple really good directors. You can tell strong, different versions of the saga before and beyond. I love that idea.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Today I have some questions for some sillier questions for Ares, God of War, and my man Michael Ravenshadow. Ares, I'm more of a rum drinker than a whiskey drinker, but as a whiskey drinker yourself, what is a good starting whiskey for somebody that wants to try whiskey, is not an aficionado of it, but wants to enjoy a good whiskey for, just to have with dinner or something, or when you just want to get a little blasted. And for Michael Ravenshadow, I heard of them about it, if you could give up Preacher. But explain again why Preacher is one of your favorite series, and you think that's above and beyond some of the other classics of more adult comic books like Sandman or some of the others, a work of like Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman. I'm just curious on why you really like Preacher. That's it for tonight. Happy 4th, guys. This is First Time Mike. Wishing everybody a good night. Bye.
All right, First Time Mike. First of all, awesome to hear from you, buddy, as always. Hope you're keeping safe out there. I know you've been an essential worker for a while, so hope you're staying safe and happy and healthy. So we appreciate that. And yeah, I'm glad you liked our answers. I'm glad MZ's answer made you laugh, because it made me furious. But at least
it's all about the listens, Johnny.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
That.
It doesn't matter what I think. What did you think of his triple changer, MZ?
I wish I would have thought of it first.
Me too.
It's pretty good.
All right, so Aries, do you remember your question?
Yeah, the whiskey question.
Yes.
Of course I remember that question.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, whiskey is not a smooth beverage. You're going to get into it. But if you're looking just to drink straight, I would normally consider these mixing whiskeys, but it would probably be a good way to dip your toe in, probably a Maker's Mark or a Canadian Club.
Don't dip your toe in the whiskey.
It helps me clear out that little fungus. No, I mean anything. I mean, Maker's Mark and Canadian Club. Those I tend to think of those more as mixing whiskeys, but to someone who's just kind of trying them out, give those a shot. Give them as sipping, maybe a little on the rocks if you're, a little light in the shoes.
Jeez. Whoa. All right. That it?
You're
going to end on that note?
All I got.
Okay.
That's what else you want from me?
All right.
It's the end of the night. I've had a lot of whiskey.
True. All right, Ravenshaw, you remember your question?
I think so. It was what makes Preacher such a fan favorite?
To you? Right? Yeah. Over other like fan favorites, like Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman and stuff like that. Yeah.
Fair. To me, Preacher is the quintessential American Western written by an Irishman. Reading that probably at 20 years old. I don't think I was 20. I was 21 yet. No, I might have been 20. And it's the emotion that evokes in me was that it makes you want to be a better man, a better boyfriend, a better friend, a better lover. Stand up for your friends even when they're wrong. Protect your woman, and doing what a man's gonna do when a man's gonna do it. And while that might not be totally, the culture might change, but the themes in that is about protecting what's yours and making motherfuckers accountable, making motherfuckers in power that have betrayed the people that believed in them and worshiped them. And it's accountability, it's friendship, it's so many themes all wrapped up in one. And as great as Alan Moore is and other works are, I'm not gonna. It's Preacher is not an apples to apples comparison to anything that Neil Gaiman did, or what Alan Moore did, or what fucking Dan Jurgens did. Represent. But it was a tonal shift in what Vertigo was, which it gave Vertigo kind of its balls back. And that's a joke to Johnny. But I think that you could have your awesome, your Neil Gaiman stuff and your Preacher stuff, Garth Ennis, exist in the same time frame. And it was something about the age I was, what I was experiencing, and what the things I love about Preacher. I'm not saying that made me who I am today, or I'm fucking Jesse Custer. I'm just saying it made me want to be like that, and I'm sure I failed along the way. But 20-year-old Raven Shadow saw a huge inspiration in that work, and between that and reading Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon's Hellblazer and hanging out with Aries made me have a love of cigarettes and whiskey. So that's why I Preacher and Aries.
The end.
True.
That's better than saying I like Preacher very, 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 very much.
It's very, very, very bloody. It's full of blasphemy and balls, and it's so much fun.
Bollocks.
You will
blasphemy blasphemy, balls, and bollocks.
Yeah, it's an episode title. I mean, it'll fucking break your heart. And the biggest regret I didn't have. I have lots of regrets, lots and lots of them. But it broke my heart that I didn't get a chance to go down to the Alamo with somebody that Johnny and I knows, our friend Roger. We would have gone to the Alamo. That's where the denouement of Preacher takes place. And I wish Roger could have been alive and we could have done that trip together, because that would have been cool.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, there you go. First time Mike. And by the way, Aries, first time Mike said thank you for the recommendation. So,
oh, yeah. You know what? Come up and we'll drink whiskey together.
There you go. When this all blows over, Raven Shadow's got the blackout Bacchanal, right?
Yeah, Bacchanalia, yeah. First time
Oh,
Mike's
Bacchanalia, yeah. Oh, Blasphemy Bollocks and Blackout Bacchanalia.
Yeah.
How's that for alliteration? Say that 5 times fast.
I'm not sure if I can right now. But I want to do a blackout brand. We're gonna talk. We're gonna call marketing Johnny.
I'm pretty sure that's taken.
What?
Blackout.
But no, the blackout brand trademark.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's taken.
That's a fairly obvious thing. I'd be willing to bet it's taken on multiple levels.
Yeah, you think you just came up with that word?
Is Blackout Bacchanalia taken?
I don't know.
Somebody call marketing. Do we still have marketing?
No.
Do we still have legal?
No.
We should get legal.
First time Mike says thank you for your answer, Raven Shadow.
Thank you, first time Mike.
So there you have it. Thank you, first time Mike. We appreciate the questions and always love hearing from you, buddy. So, all right. You guys got anything else? Anything else really weighing on you? You want to get off your chest before the end of the show here?
No.
No, Raven Shadow, nothing? You just want to touch someone.
No, I do. I might have an opportunity. No, nothing's really modeling weighing on me right now. So, I don't know.
How long have we been doing this, like 4 different locations? We've been doing this since like, what, March? April?
14 weeks.
Yeah.
401 was the first time.
Yeah.
401.
So whatever episode this is.
So 413. Okay. So
episode 400 started.
So this is 414. So yeah, 13
yeah,
weeks.
Well, yeah, 400 MZ, you stayed home. I still went. 401 was the first time. It was 4 different spots.
Okay.
That's right.
This sucks.
No, this is nice. This is great. Like I'm gonna go upstairs, take my pants off, go to bed. I love this.
Hey, my pants are already off.
Oh, this is
MZ
dumb.
doesn't love it because he gets yelled at. First time Mike
I
says.
get that anyway.
First time Mike says he will be making cookies for the Bacchanalia.
Ooh. He's coming over.
Yeah. All right. First time Mike. That sounds good. And Marion says, I'm at the chateau to celebrate the long weekend. What?
Unbelievable.
maybe Raven Shadow's going to get touched.
I think Raven Shadow's going to take his pants off after the show.
Commercial.
You get a social distance?
Listen, at this point, you know,
You know, at this point, what?
What are you gonna do? If someone's got something, the other person's got something. You know what I'm saying?
Are you going to get the Naked Gun full body condoms?
I want you to know I practice safe sex. When they were in the fucking outbreak outfits.
Yes, yeah. So now we are in July. So before we end the show here, we are coming up on the 8-year anniversary at the end of the month. So we're going to talk about that.
Probably offline.
So that should be good. That should be good. So if any listeners out there have ideas for stuff they'd want to for us to do on the 8-year anniversary, or if you guys even have want to get in some voicemail early, feel free to send them. If you do send a voice message, just let us know that's for the anniversary show, so don't play it on an earlier episode. And yeah, looking forward to doing that. Obviously, you know, I don't know what form it'll take. I at least will be here. I assume we'll all be social distancing still at that point, but you know, who knows? We'll see how things go. And also, so yeah, if you guys have ideas, let us know. But I think that is going to do it for this episode. We appreciate everyone who hung out for the live show, everyone checking in, and everyone who sent in some feedback. We appreciate you guys a lot. And also for everyone who's going to listen to this podcast. I know I personally don't listen to many podcasts anymore because my commute is pretty much nothing since I wake up, go to the bathroom, and walk like 20 steps, and I'm at work. So, you know, things are a little different. I don't really listen to as many podcasts. I don't know if that's true of other folks. I guess it depends on your situation. But we appreciate you guys sticking with us regardless of situation and all that stuff. So, all right, well, let's say goodbye, starting with MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries.
Sayonara, motherfuckers.
I like that one.
Wow.
All right, Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, and put your fucking mask on.
All right, everyone. That is going to do it for episode 414. And once again, if you guys have ideas for the 8-year anniversary show coming up at the end of July, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And, yeah, once again, we appreciate all you guys. I know that there's a lot going on in this world. There's a lot of crazy things. And for you guys to take time out of your day to spend it with us, it is most appreciated. So thank you for that. And that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.